Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to play some mono black mid-range. I have a lot of black decks. I've been doing a lot of analysis lately on the decks that I want to play, and I've discovered that there's a lot of decks I don't really want to play that much. So and it's a narrower band of decks that I do want to play. There's lots of black decks. Black is my favorite color in Magic. We won't be playing all black decks, but I do like it. So, and I've tested this deck out a couple times, so I feel pretty comfortable with it. So we're going to run this today. Want to say thanks to all the engagement on the channel. It's been a lot more than I expected. It's really motivating to make me keep going forward. So just want to thank everybody for everyone's comments and everything that you're leaving. Okay, so this is mono black mid-range, and we've got a whole bunch of swamps. We got one copy of Spawning Pool, just to just a little bit of functionality, I guess. Sometimes you have a few utility lands when you have a bunch of basics in a mono color deck. Oftentimes, in this case, we have Spawning Pool. It enters the battlefield tapped. It taps for black mana. It has an activation with a generic and a black that says this land becomes a 1/1 black skeleton creature with 1 black to regenerate this creature until end of turn, and it's still a land. So in the late game, you might need an extra body, I guess. That's why that's there. Again, this is not a deck I built. This is one I just grabbed from mtgdex.net. There's 2 copies of Wasteland and 4 Mishra's Factories. In the 1-drop slot, we have 4 copies of Cabal Therapy. This is basically the Thoughtseize of Premodern. It kind of tests your skill level to understand what you're up against, to try to name something, the first time around, and then the next time around, of course, you can grab multiple cards, hopefully, depending on what your knowledge is of their hand and what they have. So I have 4 copies of that. There's also 4 copies of Duress, so I kind of like having the full package of 8 early disruption spells like that. We also have 4 copies of Dark Ritual for explosive starts with either one of Phyrexian Arena or the Hypnotic Specters, most likely. And there's other things we can do with a 2 plus a 1 or whatever. So nice to see the Dark Rituals for early game mana. 3 copies of Cursed Scroll. So later in the game, when we're in kind of the top deck war, this is going to be a good resource to use to try to finish off the opponent. In the 2-drop slot, we have a singleton copy of Diabolic Edict. We have 3 copies of Smother for our removal package. We have 4 copies of Ravenous Rats, which works really well with Cabal Therapy. 3 copies of Nantuko Shade, just a 2-mana black creature. It's an insect shade, and you can pay a black to pump it up. +1/+1 till end of turn. Like all the other shades, this one being one of the cheaper ones. And then 4 copies of Withered Wretch to fight against graveyard strategies. And then the aforementioned Hypnotic Specters, as we said. We also have the 1 copy of Phyrexian Arena. And there's also 1 copy of Graveborn Muse. Just a great card, kind of a Phyrexian Arena on a stick, if you will. So this can just draw extra cards at the right time to get us further along in our game plan. We have 1 copy of Snuff Out. And then in the sideboard, we have Engineered Plagues for tribal decks. We have a Funeral Charm for anything additional that we might need as far as utility. It can remove an early Goblin Lackey. It can make them discard a card. Stuff like that. 2 copies of Gloom for any white decks that we run into. There's a couple of Plague Spitters in here, so just a little bit of extra damage to get in there if we need to. 3 copies of Dystopia for certain sideboard matchups. 1 copy of Drain Life, and then we have Otormod's Crypt for some graveyard hate, and 1 copy of Powder Keg. So pretty straightforward, kind of the way I like my decks a lot of times. I do like some of the more complex decks, and I'm not saying this isn't a complex deck. I think one thing that people think is that, aggro or lower to the ground strategies are not that difficult to play, but that's not really true, especially when you're in the context of playing against somebody and knowing when to do certain things and when to hold your mana back, when to do things, who's to beat down, etc. There's a lot more that goes into that. So, but yeah, I've liked playing this deck, and so I'm looking forward to putting up for you guys to see us run it through a league. So we'll see you in the first game. All right, match 1 will be on the play. Nothing too exciting here. We do have a 1-2-3 curve out. It's not the most explosive, but it could be a lot worse on 6, so we're going to keep. This hand just needs a Dark Ritual. Opponent mulligans to 6. Okay, we'll play this Cursed Scroll and pass. Opponent's also on black here, duressing us. Nothing to take. Could be a mirror match. Could have liked to have seen something besides a land there. Opponent discards a swamp. Yeah, we definitely are playing the mirror match here. Okay. Duress next turn, see what they got going on. And we might be able to activate Cursed Scroll depending on what we draw. Opponent's on Phyrexian Arena. Another Ravenous Rats. Okay. Let's go to combat. Discards a swamp at random. Okay. Let's go ahead. They only have 1 card left. So we'll play this Ravenous Rats. They lose their last card. They're going to get to refill with Phyrexian Arena, so it's another swamp. Interesting. Okay. I'm tempted to cast this Duress so we can start Cursed Scrolling, but we have to wait till we have the 3 mana, so. Opponent's going to kill our Hypnotic Spectre. Persecute. Okay. Interesting. Well, that's something we can duress, that's for sure. Spawning Pool. Okay. Let's grab the Persecute. They also have a Dark Ritual. Don't really care about that. And we will pass. Depending on what they do, I'm probably going to hold up this Cursed Scroll activation for Mishra's Factory. Well, we're going to have to do it here at the end of the turn, though, so. I don't know why sometimes this won't accept the clicking of the card. Okay. And we can hit them again. But like I said, I want to leave the activation up for the Mistress Factory, so I think that's what we're going to do here. We're also going to go ahead and activate the spawning pool, I think. Cost 2, we have to play our swamp out and start naming Dark Ritual. So I think that's the way we want to go. We got to get the game closed out pretty quickly, so... Of course, they can also... They can still kill one of our creatures, but... we can kill the Mistress Factory too. So, just depends on how they want to do it. They're gonna Dark Ritual, okay. So they can Curse Scroll a rat. Okay. Smothers their other card. Oh my gosh. Well, that's convenient. Now they activate the factory. Block there. Okay. Probably going to have to go ahead and let's see. I'm a little frustrated because I feel like this card's bugged. If I don't type in the card every time, I can't click on the card. I don't understand that. Very frustrating. It's happened more than once. I'm going to stop clicking on the card. I'm being lazy. I just have to type it in every time. It's the only way I can get this card to work. I've played this several times. So this is where the game probably turns around because we've got nothing left and they are hitting with all cylinders here. Okay. I imagine they smother or the shooter. Okay, yep. Okay. Kind of feel like we probably should just be curse scrolling the face though. Yeah, let's just do that. I think that's probably better. And I'm just going to type in the card this time because clicking on it does not work for me. Don't know why that is, but Cabal Therapy. We know they have Smother. They're going to make us lose a card. We need to keep cursed scrolling, so the Cabal Therapy on the Smother's not worth doing it, so we'll just let them hit us. We'll discard a card at random, and then we'll just use the other card to keep hitting face. And I probably should have went for face earlier with this instead of the Mistress Factory line. That was probably not the best thing to do. Opponent's ritualing to get it out of their hand, I'm imagining. Sure. First scroll. Okay. Swamp. So the Spectre hits us for random again, so I still don't think doing the smother's worth it, so we're just going to keep going along. We're going to take 4 here. I think we're ahead enough in the race to hopefully get this finished off. Plus yeah, they're just dead on upkeep, or when we get our next turn, so... Ravenous Rats. Okay, sure. That's fine. No worries. Okay, so we'll draw a card, and then that should do it. Opponent's probably hoping that we screw this up again, but we just type it in every time and it works. Clicking on the card for some reason does not work. I don't know why that is. Okay, game 2. Powder kegs could, yeah, not necessarily. Gloom's no good. Not sure how good Plague Spitter is. The Drain Life's not the worst thing to see. Not sure what I'm really taking out, though. Maybe a Withered Wretch, since the graveyard's not as important in this matchup. Gonna send this one back. First turn, Phyrexian Arena. I'm interested in that. What are we putting back here? I like the Cabal Therapy Ravenous Rats line, so I guess the Smother. We'll be able to draw some creature removal later. Of course, something's probably going to get duressed anyway, so... So it depends on what they do for our start. We may therapy on turn 1 or something, I don't know. Cabal Therapy, okay. Let's see what they're looking for here. Duress, nope. Okay, gotta go ahead and get our Dark Ritual down. They can hit our therapy, but this is the most explosive play we have available to us, so I feel like that's the right thing to do. We only have 1 Phyrexian Arena, so we might as well try to get it online as soon as we can. And then let the opponent have their pick of which card they want to hit on the Cabal Therapy flashback, if that's what their plan is. If they play Ravenous Rats, probably pitch the Cabal Therapy. We need the lands. Opponent's got a Ritual of their own and a Hippie. Okay. Wasteland. Yeah, that Smother would be real nice right now. Well, I think we're going to start on the rats and then hope that we don't get this, even if this gets discarded. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do here. So let's go Ravenous Rats. They're going to hit us with the hippie. There's nothing we can do about that, so... Then we'll just pass back. They discard a wasteland. Okay. Well, it's pretty good. Curse Scroll's good to see. Graveborn Muse is great to see. Let's see. So we want to get the Cursed Scroll down. I'm not going to play this factory into the Wasteland, even though they discarded a Wasteland and didn't play a land, so that's interesting to me that they did that. We could play the factory because they probably won't waste it until they draw more lands, so that's something we could think about. But I think it's just we're going to play the Swamp. And honestly, the Cabal Therapy may not even be worth it right now, so we're going to try to get this Graveborn Muse down next turn if we can, so that's kind of what we're going for. So go ahead and pass. That gives us the Muse, you know, a 1/3 chance. We'd like to see it. We'd like to see the Cabal Therapy get hit, but we'll see. Okay. Don't see any reason to block right now. Well, it's sad to see that go away. Okay. We got all the Cabal Therapies in the world. So let's go ahead and kill this Hypnotic Spectre. They can waste our factory, it's fine. And then we're probably gonna have to block here. We're getting pretty low on life, so we're gonna need a way to rally back into it here. Opponent cleaning up our graveyard for us. They have a factory of their own. That's kind of annoying. Wouldn't mind seeing one of our wastelands as well. Oh, drain life's good to see too. Well, I think we don't have enough mana. That's what I think. I think we just smother one of the creatures attacking us. I'll try to activate the factory to block, but all they have to do is wasteland it, so. And hopefully we can drain life next turn if we draw a land. We might be able to drain for 3. We'll see. Okay, they have a cursed scroll. That's kind of painful. Unfortunately, this drain life is not really going to help us that much. My gosh, we got a lot of Cabal therapies. Oh. Sorry about that. Man, this is bad. Drain life for 3 here does not seem very good. All right, we've got match 2 here. Looks like we can start on a duress. We got a bunch of lands, but I think we're still going to keep. Opponent's got a Jackal Pup. Curse Scroll or Seal of Fire. Curse Scroll's repeatable, Seal of Fire's a one-time thing, so I think we'll take that. Okay, so we'll take the Seal of Fire here and then ritual out this Hypnotic Spectre. Ooh, Sulfuric Vortex. That is nasty. Boy, that makes it really hard because I think I got to take that because we have no answer to that at all. This is going to die anyway, but wow, it's so bad. Not looking too good here. I think we're going to have to fire at this Mishra's Factory, even though it's going to get killed. But we got to stop taking damage, at least from the Mog Fanatic, I guess, because it's just going to kill this. But that's just maybe one more point not in our face. That's really all we got here. It's not that great. Opponent's going to incinerate it. Okay. Man, something else to get us out of this would be helpful, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the cards for this time. Wow. Have to get on to game 2 here pretty quickly because there's not much else left to do here. Okay, that's not going to get us anywhere. Okay. Let's see. I don't know that there's a whole lot. To change here. I mean, the Drain Life seems good if we ever get a chance to cast it. Powder Keg might be a thing, but probably won't have time to do the Curse Scroll either, so we have to ship this one back. Can keep this. Putting back a land. We should have enough lands to operate and do everything we need to do here, so. Cabal Therapy is tempting. What's the worst thing they could have? So we can take a point from the pup here. Let's go ahead and name Sulfuric Vortex and then just kind of go from there. If we get a chance to flash this back, we will. They do have one in hand. They also have a Flame Rift and 3 lands. Okay. Okay, and then we can smother this pup, take some damage from the Flame Rift, and okay, take 2. Flame Rift, okay. Spawning Pool, interesting. Since it enters tapped, we'll go ahead and play it now since we know what we're going to do here. Well, we'll be smothering that instead. Okay, let's duress them. I was just going to say the pause makes me think they have Fire Blast, and they sure do. Okay, just the mountain. Okay. Yeah, I think we're just going to smother this pup here. Curse Scroll, not the greatest thing to see, but hopefully this Powder Keg can take care of that. Opponent doesn't attack for some reason. Probably because we have Mishra's Factory. I'm going to go ahead and kill this now, though. Mishra's Factory can block and give itself +1/+1, so it makes sense for them to not attack with that. Drain Life is good to see. We can only do it for 2 right now, so I want to see if we can wait to get a better time to do that. But we're going to play this Powder Keg and pass. Okay. We'll put the Powder Keg on 1. probably leave it there. Ideally, we could consider okay, Curse Scroll doesn't do anything with no cards in hand, so we can get a freebie in with this Mishra's Factory. And then maybe Drain Life next turn. Go ahead and try to get some damage in here. Curse Scroll shooting blanks because opponent has no cards in hand. They can hit us now with Curse Scroll, so it just depends on how they want to spend their mana. We'll probably force them to use it now, I think. Don't want to take any damage at all, but they can hit us for 2, so. Also tells us what they have in their hand, which is Flame Rift. Yuck. I think we're going to go all in on this Drain Life here. So, and then next turn we'll resume the creature beats. This will make it much less likely for them to want to Flame Rift. So, drained for 5. Feels good. Now they can't Flame Rift. Okay. Another factory, that's great. They might have a lightning bolt or something, but let's see here. We can still play this. We can't activate this to give this +1/+1 because it's got Summoning Sickness. Otherwise, we could have tried to go for lethal. But they may have a... Okay, cool. All right. We took out the arena, brought in the Drain Life, and that's really about all we're going to do. I could see Funeral Charm being useful. Maybe instead of Snuff Out. We're not going to pay 4 life for that, that's for sure. These Plague Spitters might be kind of annoying for them, actually. I'm going to give this a try. I don't think I've ever played these, but... Take out... I don't think the Curse Scrolls are great here. And Duress and Cobalt Therapy are also not fantastic. Matter of fact, I think I'll take out 1 Therapy. Try it like that. Okay, not a great opening hand, but we do have plays with these 3 cards, and then when we get double black, we can play our Withered Wretch, so... First turn Duress, not bad way to live. Oh my gosh. Wow, okay. Lots of pain coming our way. The ball lightning is going to be pretty painful, but this powder keg is going to be pretty solid, I think. I'm going to take 2, 4, 6 plus 6 is 12. We only have 18 life. It's pretty rough, but then they're out of gas. The other line is to play Ravenous Rats. I think we're going to gamble on the powder keg because I know it may not be the right thing to do, but that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to go down to 6 here, which is really flirting with danger, but there may have been an argument for holding up Smother instead and take all the damage from the pups. Okay, there's Mishra's Factory. Yeah, let's play out our Ravenous Rats. I don't think their deck plays Lava Dart. Otherwise, the Wretch might have been the better line there, but getting them low on cards is going to be helpful to us. Okay, well, can't beat the second ball lightning. All right, we'll get on to match 3 here. All right, we'll jump into match 3 here. Going to be on the play. So we can Dark Ritual, Nantuko Shade, and Curse Scroll. Seems reasonable. Save the Withered Wretch for when there's stuff in their graveyard to eat up. Graveborn Muse, not bad to see. Just going to get in for 2 here. Get our other creature down. Blue-white, oh boy. Ravenous Rats. Well, instead of playing into counter magic, I think I'm just going to try to go in and attack here. Don't want to get too crazy and have him Swords to Plowshare or something just based on pumping too much. Well, Disenchant, okay. And 2 blue up for the counterspell for the Graveborn Muse. So, because of that, we're going to play Withered Wretch instead. She pretty much has to counter this, I think. Well, opponent has Wrath mana, but they must not have it yet. Okay. Alright, see what they got. Hopefully not Wrath of God, but they didn't play it before, so maybe they're just planning on doing the well, no, they don't have anything. That's good. Okay. Dystopia's probably good here. Gloom is probably good. Maybe 1 Gloom. And we can take out some of the creature removal since they're not going to have a lot of creatures to remove, especially on the lower end. So these smothers can probably go away. Wouldn't mind a 2nd Gloom, but don't want to dilute what we got. We can probably do without 1 Curse Scroll for a Gloom. Try that. Dark Ritual into Phyrexian Arena, and Antico Shade seems good. Okay, we can Wasteland maybe next turn. Pretty good start. Hopefully it can get us there. Mishra's Factory. Duress. Wow. All kinds of stuff. I guess we'll just take the Impulse. They just don't have any lands, so we'll help them out. Well, if they don't draw a land, they're probably going to be in a lot of trouble. But if they do, then they could at least counterspell something. Or hold up. Well, maybe not. Okay, that's good. And resolve this hypnotic specter. Or no, no, not yet. Okay. All right. Tuco Shade. If they don't get a land here, they're probably done for. No land, okay. They drop the counter spell. Okay. I mean, with a land, they can get to impulse. Actually, I think that's the one we took. So, yeah. I mean, sometimes a little wasteland's all you need. All right, let's jump into match 4 here. Okay, first turn therapy into the blind. See what land they play to give us a direction. Looks like mono red probably. Yep, okay. I think I'm going to name Ball Lightning. It's either that or Sulfuric Vortex. Those are the worst cards that we can see from them. So we'll try Ball Lightning and see if we can get that. And then get a peek at their hand to see what they actually have. No Ball Lightnings, but everything else. Okay. Okay. So we'll probably name Lightning Bolt here. Well, the way is clear for their curse scroll, but okay. Try to start killing their creatures next turn. Try not to get too far behind here. It's a different mountain than they have. Okay. Okay, so I think we'll just Diabolic Edict first and smother the one they choose not to. Yeah, that's going to be really annoying, actually. Two mountains. Yep. That'll probably be the death of us, the Curse Scroll. Okay. Another jackal pup. All right. Don't see us winning this game, but it'll be a game to be able to sideboard a little bit of things. Not a whole lot. God. So we're taking 4 here. Well, it's just inevitable for us to be dead. We can smother one and curse scroll the other, but their curse scroll is going to finish us off in 2 turns. Or 3 turns, but still in short order. 1 burn spell and our turn or 2. Not really much we can do about it. We'll have to just see what we can sideboard. Don't have great sideboard stuff against what they're doing, but fighting to the bitter end. Okay. It's not really helpful. They still have a mountain. And we're dead. Okay. All right. Well, there's not a whole lot we can do, but there's a few things we can bring in. I say a few things. There's 2 cards maybe. Nothing else really does anything. Take out Phyrexian Arena. A Therapy. A lot of this other stuff just really doesn't do much. Take out a Duress. And just try to get a fast start. I mean, it's really all we can do is hope for a fast start. That's not going to work. Keep this and probably dump the Cursed Scroll, since I don't know when we'll be able to use that anyway. Well, the ravenous rats will help fuel their own doom. Or our doom, whichever it may be. I think the red deck wants to go face unless they have to kill a creature. It's usually how it goes. We might get the Withered Wretch down here and attempt to get rid of the Lava Dart. He can use it, but it's going to cost him a land to do that, so I doubt he's going to want to do that. He can kill it with the Grim Lavamancer, but that's fine. There's not much we can do about that anyway, so... We do have another one to help continue to clean up the graveyard. He'll get 2 cards here, he'll be able to kill this, and then maybe these 2 creatures can, you know, a double spell here on the next turn, and that's about all we got. So, or yeah, Bolt too, sure. Okay. Snuff out. I kind of want to save that for the ball lightnings, so I don't want to play this Wretch right now because it just gets killed. So we'll just play Ravenous Rats and pass, and then maybe a subsequent turn we can bring this down and chew up some of the graveyard. We'll see. Okay. We got so much stuff in the graveyard now, I don't think it's going to matter. Well, I was going to save this for something better, but I think we're just going to kill the Grim Lavamancer. So let's go Dark Ritual. Snuff out. Opponent's going after our creatures here. That seems kind of strange to me, but it does help a little bit. It's only 3 life. I don't know if it's going to get better though, so I think we're going to go ahead and do it now. I mean, because we're going to need to use our mana every turn, and the drain life, like I said, if it just sits in our hand all game, it's not going to get any better as the game goes on. So But being in top deck mode, really not good against what they're doing. I don't see how we win the game, but we're just going to keep plugging along here for now. They've only had 2 lands for a long time. They got 3 cards in their hand. It's not clear what they're holding. Just lots of burn spells, I guess. Well, that would have made the drain life better. I know it's a risk, but I don't care. Actually, you know what? If I play the Graveborn Muse... I mean, they have to use their resources to kill it. 2 things. Yeah. Usually it's not a card we want to play, but given the circumstances, and like I said, they can use 2 cards to kill it, I guess, unless they've got like a lightning bolt. We won't block. Yeah, I didn't think they were gonna. Okay. If we could get something. What can they be holding on to? It's just not clear what they could have in their hand. They would have played their creatures out. More cursed scrolls. Okay. Fire Blast. Okay. Not sure what the overloads are for. Oh my gosh, that's their top deck. Give me a break. Wow. Okay, that's... yeah, that could not have been... That's the best card in their entire deck that they could have... So this is going to die, but... we can take, excuse me, the Fire Blast if they, let's just do this. So, okay, so I don't think any of this stuff really matters. Okay, take Fire Blast unless they're gonna use it, which they're gonna have to use right now. Okay, so we'll take the Fire Blast. They have Earthquake and Overload. We definitely need some help of some kind. Oh my gosh, the lands. Okay. Pretty much anything but that. It's not very helpful. Let's take the Earthquake. I know it's kind of helping them with the Curse Scroll, but the Earthquake's going to kill us too, so... There's just... I just don't see what kind of outs we have. I mean, leaving that in their hand isn't doing us any favors either. So... We'll be out of our misery soon. I mean, as far as like staying in the game and drawing to outs, trying to see if there's anything besides the one of yeah, we don't have anything actually, so we could probably just scoop it up there. I mean, we're not going to do 15 points of damage top decking like this. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, all right, well, we'll be jumping into the final match here. All right, this will be the final match for our mono black mid-range deck today. And we don't have a swamp, otherwise this would be a pretty good hand. Okay, we can keep this hand. Probably get rid of one of these factories. Start on duress. Wow. Not really what I want to be playing against, but okay. I think the faster that we end this game, the better. They can kill our curse scroll, but... Oh, well, that's... okay. I wasn't expecting them to do that, but I guess that's actually better for them. Okay. Waste the Sky Expanse and Ravenous Rats. Dark Ritual is interesting. I'm going to go ahead and do it now so I can play our land drop. Okay. I think we'll just pass, and we could attack and then he could kill one and we could kill that, but I think we're just going to go face from here on in. Just hold up our curse scroll for now. They're going to do that.
You secretly love it.
Be nice to get this Withered Wretch down just to grab their Parallax Wave out of the graveyard, but they're kind of in desperation mode right now, so I'm hoping we can just finish them off here. Been pushing pretty hard for that. They got one card left. What is that one card? It's obvious. Well, maybe it's I don't know what it could be. Okay, good. All right. The control matchup, Tormod's Crypt. Definitely a couple of dystopias. And a gloom or two, but then I don't really know what I'm taking out. I mean, take out that, this. I mean, the creature removal matters a little bit, but let's try that, see how that goes. So we can start on Ritual, Therapy, Ravenous Rats, something like that. Or Hypnotic Spectre. I think this is actually better in this particular matchup than the first turn Hippie, because it can die very easily. I'm going to name Replenish. Opponent's got to replenish. They also have Intuition, Swords to Plowshares. They're going to bend the Seal of Cleansing. So we can grab the Intuition is probably the best thing to take. We can also take Sabo's Web. It's really close because the Sabo's Web does mess us up. Let's do that instead. Okay. They dump the Swords to Plowshares. Still have the Intuition. Would like to get that, but we're not going to get the opportunity to do that, unfortunately. We can waste this Ancient Tomb. They can Intuition in response. But still sets them back on mana. And we can still play the Hypnotic Spectre next turn. Attunement and Seals of Cleansing. Okay. It's got the attunement. It's not real good right here though. And I don't know if I should Hypnotic Spectre or just pump up the Shade. I think pumping up the Shade's just a little bit better. Maybe next turn we can split the difference a little bit. We got to get our beats in where we can, put the pressure on them. This is negative card equity. I mean, I know it does good things, but they need a fourth land and a Replenish to really get things moving. They don't have an Opalescence in the graveyard. Cursed Scroll's pretty good to see. We may not even play this Hypnotic Spectre. Of course, it's going to get Plowshared. Okay, that's fine. Okay. There's the land. What do they got? Replenish. Hey. How wonderful is that? Oh, attunement first. Okay. Okay. Discard 4. Their last card will be replenished, and then they'll be able to bring all their stuff back from the graveyard, including an opalescence that probably is going to go to the graveyard and come back. That's the perfect thing they need. And to completely blow our game plan up. Okay, well that's not quite as good, so. I mean, they can hit the Cursed Squirrel, I guess. That, you know, yeah, something. Okay. Yeah, we're going to fire up the factory and then play this hippie and okay. They found a land. Okay. Mistress Factory. It can't help yet. And I don't know whether to play this or not. I don't think it really matters too much, so. Awesome. Okay. Well, cool. That was good. Let's go with a little bit of post-game wrap-up here and talk just a little bit about this deck. I really like this deck because it's a proactive deck. It's my kind of deck. This is the kind of deck I like to play. I don't like to play reactive decks. Doesn't mean I won't ever do that. Once in a while, it's okay. But for the most part, I like to force the action, force the issue, force things to happen. And black's one of the best way to do that because when you're constantly getting to look at their hand, forcing them to discard cards, they just don't have as many options to, you know, work their game plan. And this deck here is not too much into the control end of the spectrum where it gets, you know, beat up by those control decks. I think that other black deck we played was more on the control side. This is more on the lower curve aggro disruptive side, which is much better against control because the early duresses and cabal therapies, those are really good. And then when you have decent beaters, you know, creatures that can do the thing, that helps keep the pressure on. And, you know, the discard, so it felt pretty good. The burn matchup was a little tough. You know, we don't have great sideboard against burn. Maybe that's something that could be looked at. But I think overall this has pretty good game against a lot of the things. And even the one of Drain Life at certain times can be a real game changer, depending on the matchup. But no, I feel pretty good about this deck, and I'm glad we played it. We'll be playing more black decks in the future. So, but I wanted to play this one now because this one is one of my favorites. So, there's similar variations we have on this that you'll see some other decks that are similar. We'll probably be playing those, pepper them throughout the weeks as we go forward. But there's some other stuff I have too that I think is really cool I want to play. So looking forward to that, and thank you guys again for joining, and we'll see you in the next video.